guys, welcome back. LTS. On set with me still is the man himself, Stephen Hart, and of course he's the coach of the men's national senior team. So, Mr. Hart, before we get into more football, for those who don't know, the younger generation maybe, of course there's Google, you can Google everything these days, but give me a bit of a background on you and of course your football. Well, we know you played football.
Not too much. Born and raised in San Fernando.
Nice.
You know, went to St. Benedict's and played my football in the league here with a number of teams, Hurricanes, Texaco, San Fernando Strikers. And then I did the education route, went to university in Canada and came back here for a while and then went back to Canada and started coaching there. And ended up coaching the Canadian team at every level and became technical director of Canada, and now I'm back home.
You're back home.
So, nutshell.
So was that of course I know every trainee it's a desire for anybody to coach their home team, but was it like you really wanted to?
Well, you know, it was always in the back of my mind. Right. You know, I wanted to be part of whatever was going on, whether it would be to contribute to player development in some form or the other, or coach the senior team. You know, whatever is going on. I had offered my services in the past, and it didn't work out then, but now it did, and I'm here.
I guess timing, everything is perfect timing at the end of the day.
Yeah, nothing happens before it's time.
Before it's time, nicely said. Now, in terms of football, though, and of course, I like what you said before during the break, from the administrative side to the technical side, where do you think we should or could improve as a nation?
Well, we're struggling. It's no secret that we're having some difficulty, because in order to have all these teams running and to compete in CONCACAF and CFU, etc., it costs money. Yeah. And then of course it costs money to prepare the athletes, because team sport is very different from individual sport. It costs a lot of money to prepare a team, and we're struggling along those lines at the moment to get it right. If I look at my own senior team, beside the fact about the number of international games we need to play, we need to be far more, our staff needs to increase, we need to be far more scientific in terms of the physical and medical preparation of the players. We need to have a backroom staff that could monitor a lot of things. I just came from a FIFA Technical Congress, and when I was listening to what Costa Rica, Honduras, United States, Mexico, what those countries are doing, and their backroom staff, so to speak, to make sure that every little detail is taken care of. We are way behind that. Yeah. So and that goes down the line. There's a trickle-down effect, because if you don't get it right at under 20 and under 17, then you won't get it right at the senior team. Yeah. You inherit whatever happens. So there's a lot of work to be done within player development in all aspects of it, and also the clubs and schools have a big role to play in that.
As we're saying, clubs and schools. Of course, recently a lot of people found out, and of course we know it's done internationally with the players that play in school, and they don't allow them. If you're at a club, then of course for injury. As a coach, you agree with that, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of things that were drawn out of context, right? You have a player that's challenging to play on a under 20 CONCACAF big tournament, and they're playing at a level that doesn't challenge them mentally, physically, etc. Now, I'm not. What we were saying, school football is an institution here. You know, it's ingrained in our culture, and it does have a role. Yeah. But the under 20 players that are playing for Costa Rica, for Mexico, for the United States, are playing at the highest possible level. They are tested every time they step on the field, right? And you cannot coach that. You cannot coach experience. Good. So it is important for the players to be in an environment that tests them constantly. Yeah. Good. Really. Now, as I said, we have not been in a position to put them in that situation. Mexico, Costa Rica, under 20 teams have just played internationally on this FIFA window, and our team is not even in training. But there's a certain reality when it comes to international football. James Rodriguez, who for Colombia scored the goals in the World Cup, was one of the top scorers at the under-20. Where was he playing when he went to the under-20 tournament? He wasn't playing for no school. He was with Porto. So let's be realistic.
Yeah. I like that. Nicely said. Because it's been back and forth, and I said, you know, you're here, I might as well ask you. But I'm agreeing not 100% with your take on it, because my thing is, in terms of even friendlies, that's something I think we should have a lot more, as you said, so that we're always pushing. You have USA, you have all these different teams, so that you have that. So when you get to even the stages that we are now as a national team, it's nothing new.
No,
or nothing you have to prepare for, because you would have already been involved in that aspect. Right, so we have all these competitions covered, and back to the Jamaica leg. What are some of the things that you would have changed from the last game that you're going to put in place for that tournament?
Well, I mean, right now I'm just monitoring players.
Right.
You know, I think the last tournament we had a huge amount of players that weren't playing consistently with their clubs for whatever reason. Some are out of form. Some were coming off injury. In terms of the Pro League, the league had just started. So those things have to be considered, and those players have to be monitored.
Right.
One of the difficulties, of course, is it's really hard to get the medical information from the clubs as to how the player is recovering or injured or whatever. So all of those things have to be put in place, and then I have to look and put in first a 30-player squad into CFU, and that squad cannot be altered. So you kind of push the envelope as to how late you could make that announcement, and then from that you're allowed to pick 20. Right? And even when you pick the 20, for some reason the CFU had this rule where the 20 players all couldn't dress, so 2 had to sit down in the stands. So you already had a situation where medically it's not healthy to be resting one day, and then they take away the opportunity of you having 2 extra players to select from. So all these things have to be considered. Okay,
nicely. Now, there's something I didn't ask you, so I thought I'd just ask now.
Sure.
Of course, the talk is still recently on the women's team, and the how should I say this nicely, politically, the financial assistance that was not given, maybe let me say in time, because I understand that it was eventually given. What's your all-round take on that, even as a coach? Because I know that coach, Waldron, he would have dealt with it differently. I'm not in his shoes, so I'm guessing he would have seen the need to make it public, so that he gets a voice. As I always say, publicity is publicity at the end of the day, be it bad or good. What's your take on the entire thing?
Well, I mean, I can't really speak for Mr. Waldron, but it was an unfortunate situation. All communication lines seem to sort of break down, and there was the unfortunate situation where the players landed there, and we know the whole story. But Coach Waldron made a decision, rightly or wrongly. He made a decision, and he got reaction from that decision. So I guess the outcome would justify what he did.
What he had to do. What would you say to, as we close, what would you say to Trinidad and Tobago as we look forward to playing this final leg and hopefully taking home the now called Caribbean Cup, even if it's just to encourage? Because I know a lot of people came out and support. We could do a lot better with the support aspect, though, Trinidad and Tobago. But what would you say to encourage them as the coach?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. One, thank you for the people who did come out and support, and there's certainly a group of people that follow football religiously here. And we as a team, we know what our responsibilities are in terms of trying to bring the public to the football. But you really can't be a part-time lover. You know, you have to because the support is a big part of the team. It's a big part of pushing the team. And they have to suck the ball in the net for you sometimes. So we know our role, our part. This CFU tournament has two segments to it. One, of course, is to get to the Gold Cup in 2015.
Yes.
And the second one, which in my opinion is gravy, it's to get to the centennial of the Copa America.
Yes.
But that's 2016. We have to be realistic, right? First things first. Let us qualify for the Gold
Right.
Cup.
A step
Right?
at a time,
Yes,
one
of
step at a
course, we
time.
are going to the tournament to win. There's no sense going to a tournament to lose.
Yeah.
We are going there to win. But we would like to qualify.
Yeah.
That's how we have to think. Let's qualify for the Gold Cup. If we win it and we get to play in the Copa America, which is a one-of, you know, we will get to play against top-class teams of South America in a fantastic event. But we also have to consider that World Cup qualification may start as soon as late 2015, early 2016.
Yeah.
So we have to be realistic in all of this, considering our resources and what's at stake. For me, qualify for the Gold Cup.
Nice, one step at a time, yeah?
One step at a time.
Nice, man. So you heard it? You heard it, Trinidad and Tobago. Support. Of course, if you can't make it to Jamaica, go to Jamaica and support, right? So thanks again, Coach Stephen Hart, for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and let us know what's happening with the team, and of course share your views of what you think about Trinidad's football in the whole. Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's it for this segment. We're going to take a short break, come right back. Remember, it's all about fitness right here on LTS. We'll be right back.